Interestingly, among Black families, the homeschooling percentages have gone from 3% to 15%.
Hey, what about homeschooling? Shouldn't I just take my kid out of the public school system and homeschool?
Well, homeschooling is a great option, and it's actually exploded in the last year and a half, more than double the rates that were homeschooling prior to the pandemic. And interestingly, among Black families, the homeschooling percentages have gone from 3% to 15%. And that's really, I think that's really speaks to this whole argument that kids cannot be continue to be forced into a system that isn't working for them. And the families that are able to make those decisions because they have the resources necessary are making those choices. We need to make it easier for those families and easier for families all across the country who feel that same pressure and want something different for their kids, but cannot because they don't have the resources. I like to use the metaphor of a backpack. Most kids go to school every day with the things they need for the day in their backpack. We should metaphorically be attaching the resources that are already being spent on that child into that child's backpack for the family to decide what school environment is going to work for him or her and what is going to be best for their family.
Is there any downside to homeschooling? And I'm not talking about for the individual, I'm talking about for the fabric of America. If homeschooling becomes more and more popular, and particularly among married nuclear families, if that becomes more and more popular, and so it's like kids from two-parent families are experiencing a homeschool experience, and kids from single-parent families are going through a public school, could it potentially further divide the country?
That's an interesting question, but I've met lots of homeschoolers over the years, and I made actually a point of visiting homeschool families and consortiums of homeschool families, and find that the definition of homeschooling can vary. For families with single parents, often there's almost more of a one-room schoolhouse type of opportunity where 3 or 4 or 5 families get together and say, we want to have our children learn with a really great teacher and have that smaller, more personalized experience. And those kinds of opportunities, I think, are going to continue to grow. Some of them call them learning pods or micro schools. Whatever you call them, that personalized experience is really something that all families could opt into, again, if the resources are made available for that child and the focus is on doing what's right for that child. But homeschool families that I've met over the years, many of them really do work closely with a lot of other families that are opting for that same choice for their children, and it's really been a really strong option and choice for a lot of families. And I think families, no matter how they are headed, whether they're single parent or two parent families, should be able to make that choice if that's the right choice for their child.